YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Rob DJ Ville back with another review, Fall 2017 suggestions. Not going to do a ton of frags this time. I'm just going to run down 5 frags that I think would be great for you for fall, plus one daring suggestion. Alright, so let's get into it. Alright, so my first fragrance is from the house of Lord Biagiotti, and it's called Romo Uomo. Alright, it was released in 1996. The nose behind it is Annick Monardo. It's got about 12 notes listed. These are the notes. I'll put them on the screen so you can check them out. The notes that are the most prominent in my opinion is the citrus note, the galbanum, the benzoin. It's got some woody notes in the background that kind of like, you know, anchor it down. But this is a really nice release. A lot of cats aren't up on this one. You may think old school, please don't. This could be a signature scent all day long, straight up and down. Check the boxes. It does everything well that it's supposed to do. And for me, it simply smells like a dreamsicle. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of like a orange popsicle with vanilla on the inside of it. So I think it's a nice one. Check it out. Lord Biagiotti, Romo, Uomo. A second option is a fragrance from the house of Robert Graham. It's called Valour. Check the presentation. It's a pretty nice bottle. I don't know if you can even make that on the top, man. It's a bulldog head. It says knowledge, wisdom, and truth. So there's only 3 notes for this particular fragrance. It's sage, coffee, and amber. I think sage is the star of the show on this particular fragrance, and it's a fragrance that you can wear pretty much in most, you know, scenarios. It would be great for the office. It's got the amber gives it a nice amount of sweetness. The coffee, you know, kind of balances it out, and the green gives it this freshness. And I really enjoyed it. It vaguely reminds me of DK Unleaded Fuel, which is a release from the 90s. It's kind of like a, you know, it's got a cult following, really nice. One of my favorite fragrances of all time from back in the day. I can't comment on this fragrance in regards to performance because I haven't really had the opportunity to wear it a whole lot in different scenarios, more than about 4 or 5 times. But I don't know who the nose is. The nose isn't listed. It was released in 2016. Nobody's really talking about this fragrance all that much. I've seen one reviewer touch on this frag, but it's a really nice one. Only negative about this one is that you can't really find it too many different places. I've only seen it at the Bloomingdale's website and on robertgraham.com, or you can probably find it at one of his stores or boutiques. But it's a really nice one. I think you should check it out. Robert Graham, Valour. Well, suggestion number 3, and these are, you know, they're not ranked, but it's Fahrenheit Parfum by Christian Dior. Really like this one. Kind of going back to the essence, so to speak. They really took it and they remixed this one, in my opinion. I'll speak in DJ speak. It's got a lot of notes. I'll let the notes roll so you guys can, you know, check them out for yourself. But it's kind of got a boozy quality to it, and it's got this vanilla note that's kind of prominent in this particular fragrance. The original DNA still stands. It's almost like they took that violet petroleum note, which is, I would say, the highs, and they kind of brought it down, and they kind of kicked up the lows in the mid with the vanilla, the rum, and some other accords in this. And it's a really nice, warm, slightly sweet smelling fragrance that I think would really go well, would be a crowd pleaser for a lot of people. I mean, it's got the original DNA. That frag was really well received. The one note that was kind of in the middle that people liked or didn't like was the petroleum note. They kind of brought that down some. So this one was released in 2014. The nose is Francois Damashi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And price point on this one, you can only really get this for about 80 to like 90 bucks online. And I would try to get this from a seller you really trust. But Fahrenheit Dior, banger. Next up, one of my favorites of all time. This is Body Kourus YSL Yves Saint Laurent. All right, this frag came out in 2000. The nose is Annick Monardo. Prominent notes on this are sage and eucalyptus. There are multiple notes. I'll let them roll so you guys can, you know, see them for yourself. But for me, what this fragrance smells like, it's like cherry tobacco with eucalyptus mixed in, and performance is average, but that smell is so unique, and I think it's a really nice frag. It's one of my favorites of all time. If you haven't, check this one out. Check it out. A word to the wise. If you look for this particular frag, this body style is the one you want. Do not get the other body style. I've got the other body style. The juice smells a little different. It's probably reformulated. I don't know the timeline for the bottles, but this is the bottle that you'll be safe to get you, so you will experience the frag in the way I'm speaking on it. Okay. Price point on this fragrance is about $30 to $40 online, and what can I say? I think read the reviews. A lot of people really enjoy this fragrance, and I highly recommend it. So again, Body Kourus, Yves Saint Laurent. I had to bring in a frag that kind of has that rose, oud, saffron type vibe to it, and that is Oudh Qadim by Januid Jamshed. This is a really nice fragrance. I think it's underrated in the community. I don't really hear a lot of folks talk about it. I think it's an entry-level oud, so all of the oud aficionados, please don't thumb your nose at this part of the review. I mean, you can get it at a reasonable price. I want to say I got mine for between 40 to $60. I can't recall now. I hit the guy up on Facebook and sent him money via PayPal. He sent it back to me. But this is a nice performing fragrance. I'll let the notes run so you can see what they are. What I really get is it doesn't list rose, but it says saffron, and they're kind of synonymous with one another in a lot of fragrances. But you also get the oud, and it's not this, doesn't smell like fecal matter. It's really smooth, refined. Some aficionados would say synthetic, but I think it's nice for what it is from an indie house. A nice entry-level release into the world of oud, and it's got a sweetness to it that is, I think, very appealing. So I think this is a fragrance. I know a lot of guys don't like rose, but this is like a nice designer-like rose fragrance that I think would be well received. So check it out. I don't know how long they're going to make this fragrance, because I heard the actual owner died in a plane crash. I don't know if that's true or not, but it might be limited, but it's a nice release, and I'm happy to have it in the collection. Oudh Qadim by Januid Jamshed. Alright, so I said I was going to do a daring fragrance. So this particular fragrance is my daring fragrance for this list, and it is Black Number 1 by the House of Matriarch. Okay. This frag was originally named Blackbird, and it's won multiple awards. It's a sexy fragrance, and I have to say this is probably the most authentic high-end leather smelling fragrance I've ever smelled. If you can think of like an expensive like Pelly leather or Armani designer leather jacket that's soft like calf skin, lambskin coat, it's kind of got that smell to it. It's got like this bad boy rock and roll / punk edge to it. So, I think a lot of it has to do with wearing this fragrance is the person. You have to be confident. You have to have a certain amount of swagger, as people like to say, to pull this particular fragrance off, in my opinion. It's leather, but it's also green. I'll let the notes roll so you can see what is listed in the note pyramid online. The green comes out a lot. So me personally, I really think that it's for a very confident person. I don't necessarily believe it's a crowd-pleasing fragrance, but I think that if you've got the whole package, you've got the leather jacket, the jeans, boots, whatever, you would say fits that. I think it will totally be the perfect accent for that. And to me, as far as performance, it's an average performing fragrance. It's closer to an extract from what I read online, but it's not like beastly. It's kind of understated, but high class. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, smell it for yourself, get a sample. Now we get to the only drawback about this fragrance is the price. All right, this fragrance is very, very expensive. It comes in a 50 ml like this. It's $330. Or you can get I think it's a 15 ml. I want to say that's about 120. And then you can get a sample, like a little small, like 2 to 5 mil. Cool thing is, every now and then they'll have a little e-blast they shoot out if you get on the mailing list, and they'll have like a 10% off, 30% off, 40% off sale. So I was able to get my frag at, you know, a pretty nice discount. And since that time, I've bought like 5 from the House of Matriarch. So this is my daring suggestion. It's black #1. House of Matriarch. So those are my frags for fall 2017. I've got a whole lot more content, guys. So, you know, if you want to be notified, hit the bell, see what's going on with me. I'm going to be putting out a lot of reviews. I'm going to also touch on some things that are like outside of fragrance, music, maybe movies, equipment, what have you. So I'm going to try to keep it going, try to keep it more consistent for fall 2017. And I hope you guys will come along for the ride and, you know, like, comment, subscribe, and let's get it going. Peace.